What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Final Snap podcast. I'm Nathan Baldwin here with my co-host Nikolai Damiani, and we are here to discuss some intense and crazy Week 1 action, make some predictions for a good Week 2 that we've got coming up here in the NFL.
Indeed,
and talk a lot of stats, talk a lot about the drama we had from Week 1, and just have a good episode. We're ready, we're locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Let's get it rolling.
Alrighty. We'll go right into our picks from last week here in our last episode.
Oh, yes.
A lot of surprises, some disappointments for some of us, some victories for others.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I am. Let me pull up here. I don't have my paper that I made my predictions on, but I'm pretty sure I remember them.
Damn, how can you forget the prediction paper, bro?
Yeah, I know.
I digitized all mine because I'm an idiot and I will lose it.
All right, so let's start off here. We did both pick Philly. Philly did end up winning.
Indeed.
I think you had the exact score prediction, but
I don't remember Philly any of the score predictions.
I think we both said you had it at 24-20. That's what you said it was. And that's what the final score ended up being. A lot of very early drama in that game. Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. Dak kind of started it first. Definitely should have been investigating that, but instead he gets a $57,000 fine.
Which is, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous. But
absurd.
I guess the NFL has to get their money somehow.
Yeah.
It's just how that goes. Philly really leaned on its run game. Wide receiver Emeka Egbuka played a killer game. He hauled in 2 touchdowns. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me replace this. I have my notes flipped here because I copy and paste them. Give me just a second. Oh, there we go. See, this is what I get for doing this in class. And then I'm bored out of my mind, and then I should be paying attention to class, but I'm not because that's just how it goes. But yeah, no, the Eagles kind of had a tough game, to be honest. It was a good game, but it was tough. Their wide receivers were kind of locked down at times.
Yeah.
Actually, majority of the time, the Cowboys' defense looked stellar.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys' defense looked good. Definitely contender for defense of the week. I think for Philly, offense looked great. I think both teams, they were a little rusty. I mean, it's Week 1. We expect that with every team.
Absolutely.
I mean, Saquon had a big game, a lot of rushing yards. I didn't see his stats.
I have them.
Okay, he only ended up. Wow, Jalen Hurts outrushed him. Never mind, I take that back.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah, Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns, 62 yards. That's a great game from Hurts.
Yeah, that's actually freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, insane. And then on top of that, he threw for 19 completions, 152 yards, no interceptions. He didn't have a passing touchdown, but 2 rushing touchdowns. That's all right.
Yeah. This is the game that also had its weather delay.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hour and a half-ish weather delay, in my personal opinion. I think if there was not a weather delay, the Cowboys very much so would have scored and took the victory here. That weather delay saved the Eagles' butt, and they know it.
Yeah, they know it for sure. I mean, Cowboys, what was it? It was a defensive stop, or maybe it was a good kick return or something like that. And then, the second they got the ball and were going to attempt to go for a touchdown there, they called a lightning delay, and, it was delayed for, like you said, about 90 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy. I do think I agree with you. The Cowboys had momentum. It could have been a very, very different outcome if, if we didn't have that rain delay or lightning delay in there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, tomato, Eagles win 1-0.
Yeah, as all the Eagles fans say, a win's a win.
Yep.
It wasn't pretty, though.
No, never is. next game, which we both had the Chiefs winning that one,
Yeah.
but I think we're happy that the Chiefs lost. Good to see it. I mean, we'll obviously keep our opinions to ourselves a little bit, but you know, everyone liked to see it.
Yeah, definitely the Chiefs really, really struggled here.
Yeah.
Their line looked terrible, and they struggled to
Yep.
protect in the pocket, and it was brutal. The Chargers defense forced 2 turnovers in the second half, which is crazy. This is not the Chiefs that we are used to watching. This is
Nope.
definitely a new era for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm really proud of Harbaugh and the Chargers and Justin
Yeah.
Herbert.
Yep.
They just knocked it out of the park. Although I would have liked to see a few more touches from McConkey, but that's just my fantasy speaking.
Yeah, I mean, we were both wrong in the prediction, but happy to see it. I think Herbert had one of the best games of his career. I think, if the Chargers keep playing like they're playing, they definitely are going to be competing for that, division spot. I think they both will, end up being playoff teams. I think that division, you could end up seeing 3 playoff teams. Sometimes in the AFC, it's between them and the AFC North where you potentially get 3 playoff teams depending on how good everybody's doing. But
Absolutely.
I mean, definitely could see the Chargers taking that division, especially after that performance. I think Amarion Hampton had a big game, at least from what I remember watching it.
Yeah.
48 yards, 15 carries.
Yep. He really succeeded in the second half of that game. It was kind of slow. They really
Yeah.
relied on their tight ends in the first half there. So it all started to come together, though, and they really deserved their win here.
They did, yeah. Tyler Conklin, 50 yards. Disley, 18 yards.
Yeah, peep that fantasy pickup right there. Going down
Yeah,
the
Tyler
future.
Conklin. Big shout out, Tyler Conklin. That's going to be a big name.
Yep, and the other thing that I didn't think was that big of a deal during this game was the field. It looked far better groomed
Yeah,
and was
so
in really good condition, and it did not claim 5 Achilles like it did last year.
yeah. So I actually watching the game, I think it might have been like 5 minutes pregame. They showed that last year with all of the injuries they had, the NFL realized how bad the field was, and they put in, I think it was a couple $1 million, and they redid the entire field by hand. So like each individual blade of grass was implanted into the field with like robots and artificial intelligence and all that. So the field was brand new. It
Good.
was fancy,
Yeah.
brand new. It was, from what I heard, the players said it was amazing to play on. So yeah, they definitely did a good job on that one. No bad injuries other than, Xavier Worthy being taken out by Travis Kelce.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later here when we go over
Yeah.
our injuries. On to game number 3, the Bengals
Yep.
versus the Browns. This was, in my opinion, really disappointing for the Bengals. Their line showed absolutely zero care to actually do anything. The average ball time Joe Burrow had was literally 0.73 seconds,
Yeah,
which isn't it's not enough for anybody.
it's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. Cleveland had zero efficiency when it comes to the red zone, and that really cost them the game here. Cleveland looked a little bit better than they have in the past here, so we'll see how that goes moving forward. But yeah, Cincinnati was able to just barely win here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but I think Burrow is really struggling because of his offensive line. Like you said, 0.73 seconds for him to get the ball off. That is absolutely impossible. I mean, that's how long it takes for him to get the ball after it's snapped. So, he would literally have to, it would take him just as long to just drop the ball.
Exactly. I really hope Cincinnati comes and does something about this, because I do not need this turned into another Bears situation. I really think Joe Burrow is an excellent Super Bowl ready QB, but they need to give him the team here to succeed. They're really not doing that, so I hope that changes moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot to touch on with this game. I mean, Chase Brown had 21 carries, only 43 yards. He did get a touchdown out of it. He was a big goal line threat, a big red zone threat.
Of course.
So, I mean, obviously, good fantasy pickup. He'll normally get a touchdown every week. Occasionally won't, but they'll definitely use him in the red zone. Nothing big for the Browns. I mean, Flacco did have 290 yards, did get a touchdown, but he had 2 picks. I mean, just like you said, in the red zone, just did not finish. They didn't play great. I think we kind of expected that a little bit with how, sticky their quarterback situation has been. And yeah, I don't know. For them, I think it's going to be kind of a juggling situation for at least the beginning of the season. They may kind of lock in towards the end of the season if one of the rookies is doing well or, something like that. But
I absolutely agree with that here. Speaking of sticky situations, let's move on to the Dolphins and Colts game here.
oh yeah,
This
Ooh.
was the biggest. You were absolutely correct with your prediction. I was stunningly wrong.
Yep.
And this game is going to cause a huge shakeup for that Miami office there and their coaching situation and their players. There's a lot that goes into this. Daniel Jones made a huge splash here. He accounted for 3 total touchdowns. Miami's offense was just non-existent. I don't have the number right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Tua threw like 2 or 3 picks out of that, and it was awful.
Yeah, 2 picks, only 114 yards, and they ended up putting in Zach Wilson in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. And Indy's defense just dominated, and they forced, I think, 3 turnovers it was. So overall, absolutely killer game for Indianapolis. I'm happy to see them succeed a little bit here. They haven't had a whole ton of traction in the past, but this is definitely a huge one for them, and I'm glad Daniel Jones may have found a spot that he could succeed at, because I know he's struggled everywhere else he's been in the past.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I mean, I definitely, I had Indianapolis winning this game. I did not have this game going the way that it did. I don't think anyone did. If you had, told us at the beginning of the week that Indy would completely just blow out Miami, like it wouldn't even be close, I think everyone would have thought you were crazy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Miami is going to be looking at a huge front office shakeup. I know we've seen a couple of things about, Mike McDaniel on the hot seat, the GM on the hot seat. So yeah, they need to get it together quick.
Yep.
And yeah, it's going to be a rough season if they don't get it together. Because that was a rough game to watch.
Absolutely. I think we can move on to the Raiders-Patriots game here. This was an all right game. Geno Smith looked, pretty sharp. I'd say almost stellar here. He was extremely efficient, didn't make too many mistakes here. And as normal for these last few years, the Patriots just lacked any level of explosiveness. They could not convert on any third down here, and that really cost them. Vegas definitely controlled the tempo, and they got that late touchdown to secure the win here.
Yeah, not much else to say on that. I was a little surprised. I think I did have the Patriots winning this one. So I think I was wrong in that one. But, not what we saw or were expecting to see from either TreVeyon Henderson or Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots. Ashton Genty did get a lot of production, did get a good touchdown in there. Geno threw for 360 yards.
That's killer.
Killer, absolutely killer. And I think, that was one of the matchups that was a little bit of, I wouldn't necessarily say a doozy, but a little slow to watch. There wasn't a whole lot of action going on, but kind of surprised the Raiders pulled away with the win, but that last second touchdown is what sealed it for them.
Absolutely. And good for Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Cardinals-Saints game here. This one, in my opinion, also doesn't have a whole ton to write home about. The Saints, per normal, struggle to find any level of rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, Spencer Rattler has not even had a win yet as a starting QB. No. This is his second season and has not had a win. So they're going to have to turn it around here. Cardinals did okay in the red zone. Other than that, there's not much.
Not a whole lot to say. The Cardinals, Cardinals defense looked pretty good. Saints offense did not look good, so maybe that made the defense look better. But
probably,
the Saints are definitely going to struggle. I think that whole division is going to struggle all year. I mean, you talk about Carolina, you talk about Atlanta. I think Tampa's the clear winner in that division, but
I
you
agree.
know,
Moving
who
on,
knows?
moving on to our next game here: Steelers, Jets. This was another really close game, but Aaron
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers teaching a master class on how to be a quarterback. He threw 4 touchdowns. It was a pretty crazy shootout. He threw 2 in the final quarter. Jets QB Justin Fields actually looked okay. He
Yeah.
was fairly decent. Definitely couldn't finish the comeback there. We had some massive hits, which we'll talk about later. But
Yep.
Pittsburgh's defense looked absolutely garbage. It
Hmm.
was one of the worst performing defenses. It's about on par with Miami and how they
Yep.
looked. Their defense was trash. But Pittsburgh's offense looked explosive, balanced. I think they're going to have a good season moving forward here. I think the move for Aaron Rodgers to help their passing game was a huge plus for them. So we'll see what they keep in store moving on.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, Pittsburgh looked great. Defense looked, I mean, not great, but solid. I mean, there were definitely some big hits, some interceptions, I believe. Or no, actually, there weren't any interceptions. Off there were.
Not in this game. Rodgers almost threw 2, but they
Yeah,
were
but I
avoided.
mean, for Rodgers to put up 4 touchdowns and barely beat the Jets, that shows you, how bad the defense had to have been. So I
Agreed.
do think Justin Fields is a good quarterback for the Jets this season. I think they will get some wins out of him once they settle in a little bit. Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely, I think it was a good game to watch, high scoring matchup.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, I think both teams will be decent this year.
Absolutely. We can move on to our another game here: Commanders versus Giants. Jane Daniels was extremely efficient. I think he threw for 230 yards.
Yep.
So that's good for them. But I think the huge thing here is the Giants. Their
Yeah.
offensive line was literally invisible. They allowed 5 sacks, multiple pressures here. Russell Wilson, I'm sorry to say for all you Russell Wilson fans, needs to just take QB2 here. As
Yep.
much as I'm piss everybody off, I think Jackson Dart needs to start on this
Yeah.
offense. He will. They won't have a winning season, but they'll at least win more than 5 games with Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
The Giants have one of the toughest schedules this year, and Russell Wilson's not going to be it. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, it's Russell Wilson's not the answer. 17 completions out of 37 attempts is not good.
No, that's garbage. It's less
That's
than
terrible.
50%.
168 yards. That's awful. He threw 0 touchdowns, didn't throw any picks, but was very close to a few. Took a lot of pressure from Washington's defense, which we knew coming into this game, Washington's defense was going to be pretty good.
Absolutely.
Making some offseason additions there. But yeah, I mean, Jackson Dart needs to be in a quarterback. I know that Brian Dable, however you say his last name, has said that Jackson Dart will get some playing time soon. I don't know if he'll be named the starter, but he will be in there. And I think it's just a matter of weeks. Jackson Dart needs to be their starting quarterback.
I think their head coach is delusional for saying that this game did not fall on Russell Wilson. Don't get me wrong, the offensive line was no help, but Russell Wilson, even when he did have time to get rid of the ball, was just hideous.
Yeah.
This game falls on their offense, but it really does fall on Russell Wilson here.
Yep.
All right, next we got Jaguars 26, Panthers 10. Trevor Lawrence was in full command this whole game, so that was good. What's his name ran for 100 yards and 2 scores. Was it Travis Etienne? Is that what he was?
Was it ETN?
I think it was Etienne ran for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. They didn't get traded, right?
No, he didn't. Yeah, 143 yards, no touchdowns,
Yeah.
but he did get
He didn't
143
score.
yards.
Okay, so he got 143 yards. So that's a little bit of a benefit there.
Yeah.
And Carolina's offense, of course, never found a rhythm. Struggled. They
Yeah.
struggled on third down a lot here. I think Bryce Young needs to consider what his plans are moving forward. And I think the Carolina Panthers just need to consider a whole wipe of
Yeah.
their team and start fresh here because we've been at this too long with them and they can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't agree more. I think the Jaguars looked great. I think, another big factor probably to why Carolina struggled a little bit was we had about an hour rain delay in this game as well. I think
That's
they
true.
started
I forgot
up
about that.
when the other games were in the third quarter. So,
Yeah, no, the other games were over. The 3:25 or 4:25 afternoon games were already at halftime when this game was just finishing its third quarter.
yeah, it was a long delay. So, I mean, that definitely takes account how rough the Panthers played.
Absolutely.
Jacksonville was able to put it together. Travis Hunter, we didn't really get a whole lot from him. He had 6 catches, 33 yards, no touchdowns. Not a whole lot, but I mean that's a rookie. I mean, you're not going to get much from him in week 1. That's kind of how they're going to be.
Here's the deal, though. He's not just a rookie now.
Yeah.
He would have been just a rookie, but he's a Heisman.
Yeah.
So, I would expect a little bit more from him, but he is young, so hopefully we see him develop into what he should be.
Yeah, and I mean, I do remember in post game, their coach over there, Liam. I don't remember how to say his last name, but
I just think of Duval every single time I hear.
Yeah, exactly. He came out and said that for week 2, they will be looking at a lot more defensive snaps for Hunter, so that could be very interesting there as well.
Absolutely. I think we can move on here to the Broncos-Titans game. I did not watch this game. I didn't really care to look at the highlights of it. The notes I simply have is Broncos defense just kind of annihilated Tennessee's run game.
Yep.
They forced 2 turnovers. Bo Nix really played mistake-free football. He was really good at managing the clock throughout this game. I think the Titans just looked extremely disjointed, and they have really no identity right now. But it makes sense. They have a new QB. Cam Ward's sitting there, so he didn't play very well. But like I said, they have no identity right now, and I think if they find that identity, they can definitely put at least a little bit of a season together.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch a lot of this game. I think, Cam Ward did play like a rookie. He made a lot of rookie mistakes. A lot of should have thrown the balls away, held on to it for a huge sack.
Absolutely.
Denver's defense looked incredible. I mean, they have a good defense. That's nothing against them, but Tennessee just did not play well. They put 4 field goals on the board. They didn't get anything else out of their team. A lot of fumbles, interceptions on Tennessee's part. So, yeah, I mean, Denver will have a good season. Denver played well. Definitely had some mistakes to clean up, but yeah, Tennessee is going to be rough to watch down the first season here, but they could definitely put it together.
I agree. Move on to the Niners versus Seahawks here. The Niners took the W here. Christian McCaffrey kind of carried, which is good and shows that his calf injury is not awful. That's really good here. I don't know how many yards he had. I think it was north of 100. I think 120, and I think he had a touchdown, but I don't have that handy. But San Francisco's defense came up really, really big in the fourth quarter. They had that massive red zone stop, which is great. Seattle couldn't capitalize on any late game opportunities here. With what's his name at QB, I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, yeah. I guess I didn't think Sam Darnold was all that great last year for the Vikings. He had a really good team surrounding him, and I didn't think this move to Seattle was going to be very bright for him. But
yeah,
it didn't shine through here. But we'll see as the season progresses.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the games I didn't get a whole lot of view time in, but
I didn't watch it either.
I do know that, like you said, Christian McCaffrey played very well. I actually believe he had more yards receiving than he did rushing.
Excellent.
So he did play well. I think he ended up with a touchdown in there.
Yep.
Brock Purdy played well. Niners team as a whole played well. So I think they'll have a good season down the line.
They're missing
Seattle,
somebody big now, though.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Kittle's gonna have a big hole on that offense, and I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll talk about that later, of course. We
Yeah.
go to injuries here.
I was gonna say we did miss a 1 o'clock game, Bucks Falcons,
Oh yeah,
at the top there. I do believe we both had the Buccaneers winning this game. Not as close as we thought it would be. Or no, it was closer than we thought it would be. We thought it would be a bigger win.
yeah,
But yeah, 23-20, Bucks take it. That's where you had your Emeka Ibuka,
yeah.
two
Thank you.
touchdowns. Emeka Ibuka had a crazy game. I think I predicted that in my week 1 notes there. I think I said that Emeka Ibuka was going to have a crazy game, and I knew that him and Baker were going to be a good connection,
Although
especially.
they almost blew it at the end of that game.
They did. They almost blew it, but yeah, it looked very promising for Tampa. I mean, definitely. Like I said earlier, I think they're going to win that division by a landslide. I don't even think it's going to be close.
I absolutely agree.
But come playoff time, they could be a little bit of a sleeper.
Yeah. Moving on here, Packers, Lions. This game, if it wasn't for the Bills game, this would be my game of the week.
Yep.
Jordan Love looked just amazing. 2 touchdowns, no picks. He made Detroit look like a crappy team, which is really funny. Their defense failed to generate any pressure. They gave up every large play that they could have. Detroit came in for that late TD there. So with wide receiver, what's his name? Isaac to Slayer or something like that?
Tesla. That's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a last name. But he came up with that TD late in the game. Wasn't enough, of course, to save the game. But I think the Packers really have a footing here to win this division, and this game kind of speaks it all. Micah Parsons had 1 sack, put a lot of pressure there. So it's interesting to see how this will move forward. But yeah, I had fun watching this one.
Yeah, that was definitely a good game. I mean, Green Bay surprised us a little bit. I think they played a little bit better than we thought they would play.
Absolutely.
I think the Lions played worse than we thought they would play. Goff only had 1 touchdown. He ended up having 4 sacks. He did have 225 yards, 31 out of 39 for his completion. So that's good, something to work on. But their running backs were lacking. Montgomery only had 25 yards. Gibbs only had 19. Receiving, you didn't have anybody over 80 yards. So
and I think the interesting thing here is Goff. Well, Detroit's offense, I think, had almost triple the amount of time with the football as the Packers.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And that's huge here. Really hats off to the Packers defense, because I really thought Detroit was a Super Bowl team this year in this game. I know it's still early in the season, but this game really puts a stop to that.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, we look at the power rankings for week 2, and they dropped a lot. So it definitely tells you something.
Absolutely. Rams, Texans?
Yeah, not much to write home about there. I think I had the Rams winning that game in my predictions.
I had the Texans.
Yeah, I think I knew. So the Texans coming in were bitten with the injury bug a little bit. You had Mixon was going to be out for a while.
Yep.
Chubb on a new team. They do still have Dameon Pierce, and I think he did all right. But the Texans offense just as a whole did not put anything together. The Rams defense played well. I think it was a pretty big defensive game. And I mean, for even the Texans to hold the Rams to only 14 points with, I know Puka went out with a concussion.
He returned.
He did return. Okay, Puka returned. But, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to write home about. Stafford only had a touchdown. Kyron Williams did have 1 touchdown, so that was good. But
my notes are simple.
Well, Puka had 130 yards and Devontae had 51, so pretty good on him.
Exactly. My notes are simple here. The Rams really leaned on their defense here.
Yep.
Which, I mean, Houston just only had 3 field goals. I thought they were going to work their way to fixing their offensive line, and I know they worked towards that, but it did not work here.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud just looked mediocre. which isn't too good because they're putting a lot of money into this team, so maybe they could put it together. But LA's offense, like we said, wasn't flashy, but they did enough to control the clock here and pull out with the win. Houston had 2 red zone chances that could have flipped the game here, and they came up short on both of them.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very, very interesting down the line. I think the Rams will be, competing with San Francisco and maybe even Arizona for that division, but the Texans definitely need to get it together quick, or that division might slip away from them.
I think it's going to slip away for them here. I think they're going to be looking for a pretty big team shakeup if they place bottom of their division this year.
Yeah, 100%.
Next game is your absolute favorite, Bills-Ravens. 41-40. Josh Allen led a absolutely killer 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter here, capping that game-winning drive. Derrick Henry was amazing until he wasn't. I think over 160 yards and 2 touchdowns until he fumbled the ball and made himself look like an idiot. Wasn't enough. Baltimore became the first team to lose with 40-plus points and 235 rushing yards. I think Baltimore here has a really big problem on their hands. They got commitment issues to actually winning their games.
We've
seen this issue before. I think they have the best roster out of all the NFL teams. Their roster is the absolute strongest. They're going to need to put it together here, and I really I hope they have a season. Both of these teams deserve a Super Bowl. Both of these quarterbacks deserve – one of them already had an MVP. They're both MVPs, but they probably will deserve an MVP again. These teams are the teams to watch out for here. I'd say even if you are a Ravens fan, this isn't a game to be mad at. Baltimore played great, like absolutely amazing. Shit happens. It's the best way to say it. Shit happens. All the time for the Ravens when it matters most.
A lot to say about this game here. It was a great game. All in all, it was a great game. As a Ravens fan, as a Bills fan, it was easily game of the week. At the end of the season, we are going to come back to week 1 and we're going to say that is potential for game of the year.
I agree.
I was looking at the stat. I think the Ravens are the only team out of 227 teams to lose a game up by 15 points or more with, I think it was 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, which is very sad. Lamar had an amazing game. Zay Flowers had an amazing game. Derrick Henry had an amazing game. Defense had an amazing game. Defense forced Buffalo on a 3-and-out. I think it was 3 or 4 times in a row. Between the first and second quarter. We were up 40-25. It was looking great. And then Henry fumbles the ball, gives the Bills an easy touchdown. Actually, backtrack even before that, we scored a touchdown to get us to 40 points. And Tyler Loop missed the extra point, which would have put him at 41. So that would have at least tied the game if the Bills tied it. So there was that. That was a big issue. The Henry fumble, that was devastating for sure. Gave the Bills that easy score. And then, the big thing, the decision to punt it on 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 with the game on the line. I understand you have faith in your defense, but how do you have faith in your defense?
When it's the Buffalo Bills.
They just gave up an easy touchdown. Josh Allen's running down the field. They had terrible position when they were punting it away, so they were going to give the Bills an easy position to score another touchdown. So, you basically just handed them the win. And, watching this team, they've done it way too many times the past 2, even 3 years. It is not new. It's going to be a rough season if they don't get it together. I'm not mad at it. They played absolutely great. They do have a somewhat tough next 3 weeks ahead of them. I know they've got Detroit week 3, Monday Night Football, Kansas City week 4, some divisional games after. So I don't know. I think, like you said, these two teams here are top 3, top 5 in the league right now regarding power ranking. They are definitely going to be your AFC contenders this year. And yeah, I mean, it's just none of it matters until January.
Yeah, and I'll say I think even if Loop made the kick there, the Bills could have scored.
Yep.
They were close enough to where they could have just easily ran it in and rubbed it in, but they took the honorable route here. Yeah, I think they still would have won even if he made that. But yeah, what a game.
Yeah. What a game.
All right, moving on to our last game.
Vikings Bears, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, this game I think is a lot more hyped up than it should be. It was named Game of the Week.
There's no way. No.
I don't think it was Game of the Week. I think the Vikings looked really piss poor until the last quarter, really. The Bears were playing good, and then they were the Bears. They absolutely blew it, and I feel like this happens every year. They play their first game, they look great, and then they just blow it the rest of their season. J.J. McCarthy looked terrible until he didn't. He looked good. I know he had some pretty encouraging words when they were down quite a few points. He had everyone in the huddle and said, is there any other place you would rather be?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a huge factor of him and his mental game. I mean, he kicked ass at Michigan. So I think him as a quarterback will be solid for the Vikings. But they got to put it together early in the game because not every game is going to be a huge victory here for them.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, the Vikings, like you said, they didn't look great until they did get it put together. McCarthy is a good quarterback, as you said. I think over there with, McConnell, their head coach from Minnesota, he builds quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy is going to be a good quarterback, especially for that Vikings team with Jefferson and Thielen in there. Hawkinson as well. That's a sturdy tight end. They've got a good O-line. If they put it together, they're going to be a good team.
And those players really care about that team. Thielen, I know, took a pay cut. Yep. He changed himself to about $4 million in incentives instead of pay because, I mean, if you can open up more cap space for your team, I absolutely believe do it. So they care about that team, and I think in the future here, once they get everything cleaned up, they could definitely be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, very, very bright future for them for sure.
Yeah. That was all of our games, wasn't it?
That was it.
So, quick things we got to talk about here is our biggest flop of the week versus game of the week.
Yep.
I put some notes here. We can discuss if we think otherwise. I think biggest flop of the week has to be the Dolphins.
100%.
That was
not
just
even a question.
Yeah, that was just the most disappointing game I've ever seen. Tua looked absolutely terrible. It looked like those concussions really caught up to him here, and it was so bad. And Mike McDaniel agreed with that, and he said it was the worst game. Quote, I don't think it can get any worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thought this game was going to be at least close. Most people had the Dolphins winning this game. Instead, they get blown out by Daniel Jones and the Colts. I mean, that was easily flop of the week. They need to get their shit together real quick, or there's going to be a massive shakeup.
Absolutely. Game of the week. I'm not going to touch on this too much because we just talked about it. Bills v. Ravens. Easy. Game of the week. Great game. Possibly game of the year. We'll just leave it at that. Worst players versus best players. I'm going to say the worst player had to be Tua. I think that's pretty close to the worst player of the week, which he's usually not at the bottom of the list. But this time he absolutely is, and we just touched on it. They got to get it together now.
Yep. Yeah, couldn't agree more. It definitely has to be Tua. I think, another little honorable mention, worst player of the week, even as a rookie, has to be Cam Ward.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Number one pick, had a lot of hype coming in. They knew the kind of guy he was, especially training camp, preseason, all of that.
Absolutely.
And he comes out, and I know the Broncos defense is good, but he made a lot of mistakes. He looked really rough. He needs to get it together. that Titans team needs to get it together as a whole. But yeah, I think worst
Absolutely.
players definitely got to go to Tua.
Best player here is tied in my heart. It's either between Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I put Josh Allen in our notes because he did win the game, so I'll give him that a little bit there.
Yep.
But those are definitely the two best players of the week. No contest at all to that.
Yeah. No contest. I think, as much as it pains me, you got to give it to Josh Allen because he got the win done. He did put up more yardage, put up more touchdowns. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely between those two. I think honorable mention Jordan Love. Jordan Love
Absolutely.
did great up there in Green Bay against a good Detroit team. At least we thought they would be really good.
Or either
didn't
they
look
are really
but-
good, or the Packers are just that good, or the Packers
Yeah.
suck.
Yep.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep. Best and worst defense here. Best defense, I have my money on the Cowboys. I've never seen the Eagles lock down so much. They literally could not do anything, like anything. So I really hand it off to them, as although I'm not a huge fan of the Cowboys, but credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I do think it's one of those things. I feel like best defense has to go to a defense that won the game.
That's fair. That's
I know,
absolutely fair.
I know that Dallas did great. They locked down AJ Brown. They locked down Devontae Smith. Saquon got locked down, so Jalen Hurts ended up taking all the weight.
Yep.
That's why he put up such a good game. So yeah, I mean, definitely contender for best defense. I think as well. Got to shout out Denver. Denver's
Yeah,
defense looked
that would be-
incredible against Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee did manage to get 4 good red zone drives, and they held them all to field goals. And I mean, they had 5 or 6 sacks in that game. I think it was 1 or 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Absolutely great defense from Denver. So that's my pick for best defense of the week, but I definitely understand you on the Cowboys there.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with that. The worst defense I put in our notes here, the Dolphins, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty close, but I'm actually gonna backtrack and second that. Equally as bad, the Steelers.
Yeah, rough. I mean, how are the Jets going to put up 32 points
That's-
on you, man?
That was just that was a pretty terrible display there. Both of them, those defenses played like complete trash.
Yep.
So that's as simple as that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely between those two for me too.
Yeah. And then the best and worst offense here. Best offense, Buffalo.
Yep.
Without a doubt. We talked about it a lot here. They just kicked some butt here. I have an honorable mention here of the Colts. As though I don't think they're absolutely the best, but they deserve a little bit of chatting here because they've struggled so much in the past. So I guess more of, instead of the best offense, the most grown offense.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
a better way to put it, because they definitely deserve a little bit of recognition. Danny Dimes over there is just kicking butt.
Yeah, I mean, good on him. I mean, he did not do that good in New York, so hopefully it works out for him in Indy. I mean, he played a hell of a game. Definitely going to have to give it to Buffalo on that one. Just setting all kinds of records. Josh Allen carried the whole load.
Yep.
But, I mean, yeah, honorable mention Colts. I think worst one, we got to, again, give it to Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
Not a doubt. I mean, you put up 8 points, and that was only because of a 2-point conversion on the last second.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it doesn't get
Rough.
any worse than that.
Yep.
Moving on to some week 1 injuries here. We'll fly through it pretty quickly. The Eagles,
Yep.
no major injuries reported. Cowboys, nothing super crazy. Same thing here, similar for the Chargers. The Chiefs, Xavier Worthy got his
Yep.
shoulder knocked out of place by his own teammate Travis Kelce.
Rough.
At the moment here, they think it's just a dislocated shoulder, but it's possible that he may need surgery. So I'm assuming he'll be out probably 2 to 3 weeks. If he needs surgery, he's probably going to be out majority of the season.
Yeah.
That's a huge hit for them, especially with Rashee Rice being suspended. So the Chiefs are going to have to find a way to put it together. I believe they will. They have some eyes on Mr. Tyreek Hill there, but we'll touch on that a little bit later on how that's going for him.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think, just to add on that too is, from watching that game, the Chiefs planned a lot of their offense this year because of not having Rushy Rice. They planned around Xavier Worthy a lot. And losing him in the beginning of the game is part of the reason that they fell through.
Absolutely. I mean, he ran a 4.3, and
Yeah.
that's what they were relying on. They relied on him last season. He played well, and definitely as a wide receiver one this year, that's what they were expecting. But
Yep.
they're kind of shit out of luck on this one, and we'll see what they do.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I mean, I feel like after what happened, I don't think Tyreek goes back. I think he's looking
I
to go
agree.
somewhere else.
I absolutely agree.
I feel like Tyreek also is on the hunt for another Super Bowl. And I feel like he may see that Kansas City may not be able to get it done anymore. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting.
Yep. Bengals, no major injury. Browns, defensive tackle Mike Hall, his knees hurt. He is out. Their run defense is going to be suffering from that quite massively.
Yeah.
But, typical Browns. We'll see how they decide to recover with that.
Yeah, and they're going against Baltimore in week 2, so
Yeah,
that's going to be
well-
rough.
We'll touch on that shortly here.
Yep.
Got the Dolphins. Running back Jalen Wright, his knee, he's out. We'll see if Ollie Gordon can really pull through for him here. I don't know if that will happen or not. Tight end Darren Waller, his hip is out. It just sucks to not have a veteran on your team here.
Yep.
And then Tyreek Hill has an oblique injury that he's still on the injury list, but I don't think it's going to be all that crazy.
No, he'll play.
Exactly, he's labeled as play here. Colts, nothing major on the Colts. Raiders, tight end Brock Bowers. That's a huge loss. Well, did he end up? I think he ended up coming back, right? I might be wrong.
He
on that.
came back, but it's something that I believe they're keeping an eye on.
Okay.
I want to say it was hamstring, but let me double check on that.
Yeah, I have it labeled as a knee injury, but you could definitely be right. But either way, if they don't have Brock Bowers, that's going to suck for their tight end here. So we'll see. They say he's expected to play week 2, so I'm not going to mark it up to be anything crazy.
Yeah, it took a little hit on the knee. It was a knee injury.
Cool.
He got checked during the game. There were no concerns, but it is something that the Raiders will be keeping an eye on moving forward.
Cool. Then we got for the Patriots, Christian Gonzalez, hamstring.
Yep.
Big blow to their secondary there.
Huge blow.
It is what it is. It is the Patriots. I wasn't expecting them to have a kick butt season anyways.
Yep.
But wish the best for him. Cardinals, Will Hernandez is out with his knee. Their run blocking game is going to be a little bit short there. And then during the game, Kyler Murray had severe diarrhea.
Interesting.
Yeah, he had a lot
Good
of
to know.
stomach issues during the game and before the game. Of course, he played and he played a good game, but must have been stinky.
All right.
We got the Saints next. Trevor Penning, his toe, it's fine. He'll live. And then Chase Young with a calf. So we got pass protection and pass rush here. Let's take a
Yeah,
little bit of
Chase Young.
suffer.
Chase Young did not play week 1. I do not believe they are expecting him to play week 2, maybe even week 3.
Yeah.
They are avoiding putting him on IR, but definitely, going to be missing a little bit of time here.
Absolutely. Steelers, Derek Harmon with the knee. First rounder. Sidelined. It is what it is.
Yep.
Cam Hayward, he's not injured, but he has a contract dispute at the moment, which I don't think they've even figured out. So,
I think they did. I thought
they?
he played week 1. I think they got a contract extension for
okay,
him.
good. I didn't look into it too much.
Yeah, so they
Did they extend him or whatever?
they did extend him. They reworked his contract. Much more incentives instead of straight up money.
Cool.
So he did get his money technically, but in order to avoid that salary cap, it's all incentives.
Absolutely. Jets, Elijah Vera Tucker, triceps. He's out for the season.
Wow.
Done. Major loss up front. That's going to be a huge blow to their line. Already's not great, and it's that hurts. So that sucks. Commanders, nothing major. Giants, Andrew Thomas, his foot's all screwed up. He was labeled as doubtful for the game. And then Jaguars, Wyatt Millum, his knee, he's out. And then Travis Etienne was actually on their injured list, but he played anyway, so that's good.
He played, yep. He had a good game.
Yep. Panthers, wide receiver Jalen Cocker, quad. He's on IR. And then I cannot. I'm going to offend everybody. Ikem Ukuwono. He had an appendectomy, so he's going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Enough there. Broncos, Evan Engram, calf, sat out fourth quarter. Status is to be determined.
Yep, he was out for the remainder of that game.
Correct. Nothing major on the Titans. 49ers, we talked about already. Christian McCaffrey with his calf. He played midweek. He is talking about quite a bit of soreness and was limited at practice today.
Something on for sure.
Yeah. I think he will play no matter what, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I agree.
George Kittle, hamstring.
IR.
He's on IR. He left game early. He's ruled out. 5 weeks is the prediction at this moment in time. I wish the best for him. I hope that gets healed up quickly. And then
100%.
Fred Warner and Trent Williams, briefly injured but returned. Trent Williams is local to me here in Houston. We've met him a few times. He's a big dude. He makes me look small.
Huge.
Yep. Seahawks, nothing major. Packers, nothing major. Lions, Terran Arnold, groin. He missed the second half. That kind of screwed up their secondaries, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford for the Rams. He still is having a back issue, and he's still limited during practice. And then Puka Nacua passed his concussion protocol and returned to the game. Nothing
Cool.
crazy on the Texans. Nothing crazy on the Bears and or Vikings.
Sweet.
Yep. Do you want to move on to our fantasy? Quick little fantasy.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Quick little overview.
Yep. I'll go through it. You can go through it really quickly. I made it easy for you.
Biggest fantasy players week one, quarterbacks, obviously Josh Allen, 38 points. Justin Fields, a little surprise there, 29.5. Daniel Jones, obviously 29.5 as well. Lamar Jackson, 29.4, and Justin Herbert, 27.9. Those numbers may be a little bit skewed depending on what fantasy league you play.
Correct.
Some people I remember had, Josh Allen had 45 points or something like that. He only had like 32.
I think these are based off ESPN's numbers.
Okay.
Or
cool.
NFL,
Good to
one
know.
of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. But yeah, either way, ballpark, those are the top 5 scorers for quarterback. Running backs, Derrick Henry had, the game of his life until it wasn't the game of his life. But he put up 29 points. Bijan Robinson, 24. Christian McCaffrey, 23. James Cook, 21. Javonte Williams, 20. Wide receivers, Zay Flowers, a little bit of a shock there. 28 fantasy points for him. Keon Coleman for Buffalo, 25. Quentin Johnston, 24. I know he was a big target in that Chargers game.
He was.
Emeka Egbuka, 2 touchdowns, like we said earlier, 23 points in fantasy. And Puka Nacua had over 140 yards, I believe it was, 23 fantasy points. And finally, our tight ends, we've got 4 here. Brock Bowers ended up with 15. Travis Kelce had 13. Noah Fant, 12.5. And Zach Ertz, 11.8.
Cool. That's our quick little fantasy recap there. As I said, those numbers will vary depending on what league and app you are using.
Yep.
All right. Let's go into score predictions, then we'll do media after.
Sweet. Works for me.
All righty.
Pull her up.
I got him. So, Thursday Night Football, September 11th.
Yeah, big game.
Washington, probably game of the week, in my opinion. Washington Commanders versus the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. I have this game. I have Green Bay 27-23. Packers offense, of course, led by Jordan Love. They're extremely oiled at home. They're going to take advantage of this young Washington defense here. Week 1, Love had an extremely strong performance, connecting with his targets here. Wide receiver Christian Watson had 3 receptions for 13 yards and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs led the team in receiving yards at 68 yards and 2 catches. Washington's rookie quarterback Jalen Daniels will show kind of some brilliance here and there, but I just think the Packers are just going to knock it out of the park on this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think, I've got the Packers winning. Both teams started out 1-0. Good start to the season. I had 28-24 Packers. A couple little notes here. My big keynote: home field advantage.
Absolutely.
That is the big thing for Green Bay. Washington's, like you said, young defense coming into Lambeau. Micah Parsons there in Lambeau. I mean, we saw that atmosphere for game one against the Lions. It was electric. I think it'll be the same way, especially for a primetime game. Like we also said, game of the week candidate. I think, not candidate. I think it is game of the week. And I do think it'll be, a little high scoring matchup.
This will be a huge test for the Commanders here. I'm going to go out and say the Giants are not a team to benchmark the Commanders off of. And in my opinion, they scored awfully low for that game.
Yep.
That game should have been a much higher scoring game to the way the Giants played. So I think the Commanders really have to come in here and kick some butt to, win. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Our first game Sunday, at least the first one I have on here, we've got the Baltimore Ravens against the Cleveland Browns. This one is going to be in Baltimore. Their first home game of the season is a 1:00 game. A pretty clean cut for me here. I think this is going to be a blowout win. I think they've got a lot of redemption after that game out in Buffalo. I've got my predictions 35-14. The Browns are the Browns. I think, same as usual. They're going to find a way to, make some mistakes, only put up 2 touchdowns, maybe less, maybe even a little bit more. 35-14, got the Ravens on that one.
Yeah, I also have the Ravens on this one. I have 38-20. The Ravens are going to be extremely motivated after that week 1 loss, and they're definitely going to take out all their frustrations on their division rival here. Lamar Jackson's going to come back, kick ass. Their offense is just going to kick butt, especially with Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers. It's going to be a challenge for the Browns here. So, yeah, this will be a good win for them.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yep. All righty. What's our next game?
Next one I had on here was Jacksonville Jaguars at Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Bengals taking this one. I said it would be 27-17. I think it'll be a little bit of a closer matchup than people think. I think Jacksonville's got a decent team that they're working with. Not the best in the league, but it's all right. So I think they'll put a little bit of contest against Cincinnati. I note here, neither team was great in week 1. Some big mistakes that were made, big turnovers. Nobody had an outstanding game. I think Burrow is going to have a big game. He's going to bounce back if his offensive line can keep it together.
Yep, I have the Bengals winning this game too. I have 24-20. Joe Burrow is going to give them quite a bit of an edge here, especially because it's at home and he's the king of clutch performances. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has not performed all that well against extremely high-powered defenses, so we'll see how he does here. But I do think Cincinnati's defense will kind of just make enough stops to keep the game within reach. The Bengals are really going to rely on Burrow's late game, clutch up power here.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I got for that game.
All right. Next one, we got Giants Cowboys on Fox at 1:00. That one's going to be in Dallas.
Yeah.
I do have Dallas winning this one.
I do too.
I think a couple of little notes here. I have 20-13 as my score prediction. Divisional matchup. I think that's, kind of how those guys always go. Normally a tight contest, even if, one team is substantially worse than the other. Absolutely. I do think the Cowboys defense is going to dominate. But it will be a close game. It'll be, a decent game to watch. Giants will not win with Wilson at quarterback. I do not believe that at all. I do believe that statement. I don't believe at all that they will win with Wilson at quarterback. And yeah, I think CD will have some redemption after week one. Had a lot of big drops.
Yeah, if he can
Some
hold on
that
to
could
the
have,
damn football.
yeah, some that could have led to the Cowboys winning that game against Philly. So I think he'll have a big chip on his shoulder for this one.
I agree. I also have Dallas winning this, but by a little bit more. 30-17, Cowboys on top here. The Cowboys have historically kind of dominated this NFC East matchup. Their offensive firepower is just really, really good at home here. It's going to really overwhelm the Giants' defense. Other than that, like you talked about, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb here, who had 7 receptions for 110 yards on week one and dropped way too many damn footballs. But I think the key here is going to be the Cowboys' defense. They are just going to pressure the crap out of that Wilson offense. And turnovers are going to be huge. Probably, mark my words, 3 interceptions.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, again, as well, Malik Neighbors did not have a good game against Washington. He was locked down. He did not have very many targets or completions, to be honest. And I think it's going to be kind of a repeat.
I agree. Next game here, we can move on to Bears-Lions.
Yep, that's the one I got as well.
All right, I have the Detroit Lions winning this game 31-23. Although the Packer game did not display it, I still think the Lions can have one of the most explosive offenses out here, and they're going to exploit the crap out of the Bears' defense. Other than that, I did not a whole ton of major key things to hit on here besides the Lions. Lions have a little bit more experience, and they're pretty cohesive, and I think they're going to have a comfortable home win at Ford Field.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I have the Lions as well. My score was 32-17. I think they're going to blow out Bears' crappy defense. We saw how crappy their defense was against Minnesota.
Absolutely.
They did hold them to low points in the beginning of the game, but I feel like that was more due to lack on Minnesota's part rather than credit on the Bears' part.
Absolutely.
Their defense is not going to hold up against a good Lions team, like you said. And I think St. Brown, I know I said this last week, it did not live up to the potential, but I do think St. Brown will have a touchdown or two. He needs a little bit of redemption after some low scores last week.
Yeah. All right, what you got next?
All right, next one we got New England Patriots at Miami Dolphins.
Oh, God.
Crucial game here for both teams. I mean, I feel like the Patriots had a good win in their hands against the Raiders, and then the Raiders kind of just took it in the end. And then Miami, you get blown out by Indianapolis. So both teams need to win bad. And both teams, I actually feel like, will play with a chip on their shoulder. I don't think Miami has it together as well as the Patriots do. So I do have the Patriots in this one, 21-10. I think Miami's going to struggle again. I think Henderson will finally have his breakout one of these weeks. Hopefully it's this week. And yeah, the Dolphins just need to figure it out.
I agree. My game's a lot closer than yours. I have the Patriots winning 23-20, mostly because, if I'm right, this is a home game in Miami.
It is in Miami, correct.
So the Patriots are going to lean on their defense here. This is going to be, in my opinion, probably a pretty good upset. Miami really struggled last week. Tyreek Hill has a tendency to be extremely inconsistent in general. So utilizing him this game is going to probably be tough. So we'll kind of just have to wait and see. But especially after last week, you can't bet on the Dolphins to win anything anymore. I think they're absolutely toast here. Although they are playing at home, so they could pull out some crazy win. But my money's not on them.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Next one, we got San Francisco 49ers at the New Orleans Saints. I mean, it's, pretty clean cut here. It is a 1:00 game. I feel like this should have been a 4:00 game, but I feel like there are actually more games on the West Coast this week that were deserving of that 4:00 spot.
This game is
I've got
right?
It is in New Orleans.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah. I do have the Niners winning this game. I think it'll actually be a low-scoring game. I think both offenses are going to struggle, which will make the defenses shine. I have it 17-6 in the Niners' favor. I believe that's my lowest scoring game of the week. Niners will struggle without Kittle, but all in all, the Saints are just lacking in both directions. So, yeah.
I agree here. I also have the 49ers winning. I think I'm a little bit delusional here on my Saints score, but I have 27-20. That's just because I'm a Spencer Rattler fan. But McCaffrey's going to have to really carry here. Their offense is really, really beat up. Brock Purdy threw for 277 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first game there, week 1. So I think he really just has to maintain that, and they can definitely pull away with a win here. The New Orleans Saints are absolutely nothing to write home about, as both their offense and defense struggles, which is a damn shame because the Drew Brees days were just peak.
Yep.
But we'll see what that one holds. Probably it's not an extremely exciting game, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. Next one, we got the Bills at the New York Jets. Another home game for the Jets at 1 o'clock. I do have the Bills winning this one. I believe you should as well. 23-21 is my score.
Wow, you're a lot closer than I am.
Yeah, I think obviously the Bills are a good team, but this is a divisional matchup. You know, it gives me that 1 o'clock, going to be kind of like that late second, fourth quarter witching hour on Red Zone where they're just watching it nonstop. You know, I said here in the notes, good divisional game. It's either going to be a Buffalo blowout or a last second win, leaning heavily on that last second win, but it could go either way for these divisional games.
So I actually have the Jets winning. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, there's not a shot in hell.
No, I got the Bills winning 36-21. Josh Allen's playmaking ability is going to be on absolutely full display, and he's going to put on a damn clinic. The Bills' offense is going to be firing out of all cylinders here. They're going to take control of this game early and not look back. The Jets' defense is talented-ish, but they're going to just struggle to contain Josh Allen here. The Bills are super dynamic, passing for all 4 quarters, and the Jets' offense is just going to struggle to keep up with the scoring pace no matter what. Buffalo's going to kick some butt here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be either a blowout, they're going to kick ass, or it's going to be a last-second win, the way these divisional games usually are. But either way, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good 1 o'clock game to watch.
Yeah,
next one we got Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's first home game of the season. This one's surprisingly on Fox at 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock if you're over there in Houston. 27-16 is my score prediction. I've got the Steelers winning this one. Rodgers to DK was a great connection. We saw it. It was on full display. Although DK had some drops, they were right there. I think he'll put it together. A little rust to start the season off, but I mean, it's going to be a good connection. And I think Steelers defense is way too good for Seattle. Granted, they didn't show it against the Jets. They let the Jets put up 32 points, but the Steelers' defense is that good when they put it together. So, I think Seattle is no match for that defense. So, 27-16.
I'm a little closer in score here. I got the Steelers winning this 24-17. Aaron Rodgers at the helm, of course. He's going to have his first home debut. Combination of their passing attack and their physical defense is just going to kick some butt here. Rodgers is going to, I think, continue his hot start, and he's going to pick apart this Seattle Seahawks secondary. The Steelers' run game is going to control the clock. Rodgers has always been good at that. They kicked butt at that in Green Bay, and he's going to do it here. I don't think the Seahawks have a chance.
Nope. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Next one, we got the LA Rams at the Tennessee Titans. Titans' first home game of the season. This one's a 1 o'clock game as well. It's our last 1 o'clock game of the week. I've got the Rams blowing this one away. 31-13 is my score prediction. It's gonna be rough for Cam Ward in Tennessee. I know they've got home field advantage, but I really don't think after watching that Broncos team, there's not a lot of fans that believe in this team. I mean, notes here, Cam Ward is a true rookie. He was the first overall pick but he is a true rookie. He played like one against Denver. I think he'll play like one against LA. It'll be like that for the first few weeks of the season until he really gets his feet in. And I think the Rams throw all over this Titans defense. The Titans defense was lacking a little bit. They had some injuries, lost some players in free agency over the offseason. So I think, Devontae Adams will have a touchdown, maybe two. I think same with Puka. Williams for their running back over there is going to have a good game. And, I think it's just going to be a blow-away win.
I agree. I'm a little bit closer on score. I'm a little more conservative this week with my scoring, but I got the Rams also winning 24-17. I think I'm still a little bit delusional there on the Titans. Matthew Stafford is just... This game is almost unfair at this point. It's kind of ridiculous. Puka Nacua is going to have a stellar game. He had a stellar week one. His 10 catches for 11 targets, over 130 yards. Titans offense is going to suffer. They have an extremely hard time putting points up on the board. That was shown. They're new. They have no rhythm. I think the Rams defense is going to run all the way over them. So probably some good turnovers here. This will be a bully game for the Rams, but it should be flashy and fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. On to our first 4:05 game. We've got the Carolina Panthers at the Arizona Cardinals. Not a great matchup here. This is going to be a little bit of a doozy game. I do have the Cardinals winning this one 16-13. I think the Panthers may give them a little bit of a push comes to shove sort of thing. The Cardinals were good offensively and defensively. Marvin Harrison Jr. was logged down by the Saints a little bit, but he had some good plays, some good catches in there. I think it'll be the same against the Panthers. Panthers defense is a little bit worse than the Saints, arguably. I think Arizona pulls it off. Panthers are weak in every spot in their lineup, so there's nothing to write home about for them. We'll see if maybe they prove us wrong. Could be a sleeper game, but 16-13 Cardinals.
I think the biggest thing, I also have the Cardinals winning this 21-17. I think the biggest key thing to look at here is paying attention to Kyler Murray's dual threat.
Yep.
That's going to be huge for them. Carolina's offense is going to struggle throughout this whole game. Arizona's easily going to get the upper hand here. But Murray's ability to kind of extend plays with his legs and then find targets is just kind of unmatched right now. So I think that's going to definitely lead them to this victory.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Next 4:05 game, we've got the Broncos at the Indianapolis Colts. Surprised that one is a 4 o'clock game again. Should have probably been switched with either Seattle or the Rams, maybe even the Niners and Saints.
But what they're doing anymore with their scheduling.
Yeah, who knows? But either way, Broncos Colts. I do have the Broncos winning this one. I think the Colts got a little lucky against Miami, but against a very, very good Broncos defense.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones may put up some more good numbers, but they're not gonna put up enough good numbers to beat that Broncos defense. I do think Dobbins and Harvey for Denver are a two-headed monster. When they are, cooking, they're cooking. So I do think 20-17 for the Denver Broncos. I think it'll be close, but I do think Denver will pull away in the end.
I also have this game by a 3-point victory. Broncos 23, Colts 20.
Yep.
The Broncos defense just shines through every step of the way. So that's going to be huge, and I think Bo Nix is just going to put it together here.
Yeah.
They're going to do enough just to capitalize on these opportunities. So, the Colts had their win in Miami, but Miami honestly is terrible. So This will be, if the Colts come out with a win here, I think I'll be extremely impressed. But
honestly, if the Colts come out with a win here, they are potential to win that division, because if they can keep that up all year and pull out these sneaky wins and Daniel Jones plays his ass off like he did against Miami, and the defense holds up enough to only hold Miami to 8 points, then they're looking at a decent season if they can keep it up.
I agree, but I think the Broncos should walk away with this one.
Yeah. All right, our next one, 4:25. This is our only 4:25 game, but this one here, other than our Thursday night football matchup, I think is going to be game of the week.
I agree.
You've got the Eagles going into Arrowhead to face the Kansas City Chiefs, our Super Bowl rematch. I mean, easily game of the week. I think the Eagles will pull this one off. I think it will be a high scoring game. I have 34-31 as my score prediction here. Higher, but achievable. I think, Patrick Mahomes always finds a way to get it done. He always finds a way to score points. If it's not anyone else on the team, it's himself. We saw against the Chargers, he will put his whole body on the line. He will run for 15 yards and take a big hit just to get the first down. So, he'll do anything to get points on the board. So I think the Chiefs' injury bug will hurt them on offense, especially with Worthy out. Rashee Rice is missing. I've got Philly winning this one. Not much else to say.
Yeah, I got Philadelphia winning this one too, not by such a huge standard, but 28-24. I think the Chiefs are really going to struggle throughout this game. Jalen Hurts is just going to control the clock and pretty much murder the Chiefs' defense by doing that. Like you said, there's not a whole ton to say here besides the obvious. The Chiefs are going to try to put up their best fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. I just think the Eagles are going to pressure Mahomes into making mistakes after mistakes. They did that during the Super Bowl. They're going to do it again here, and they're ready to, and I quite frankly hope they do.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Only other thing I'll add is this 1,000,000% should have been Sunday Night Football this week. There's no reason for this to be a 4:25 instead of Sunday Night Football. So,
what is the Sunday Night Football? Is the Falcons get frick?
Falcons at Vikings is Sunday Night Football. Why is that not?
That's a terrible game.
A week or a day game matchup. I don't know.
Anyways, let's talk about that game. I got the Vikings winning 28-24. This will be a close game. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to pull it out of his butt again, and they're going to kick some butt here. Simple as that. I just don't think the Falcons got much for the Vikings.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I also have a 4-point win for the Vikings. I have 17-13. I don't think the Falcons are looking good on defense or at quarterback. Michael Penix Jr. is not the answer. God only knows why they took him in the draft after signing Kirk Cousins. Obviously, who or where is Kirk Cousins now? I don't even know.
That's crazy to me because Michael Penix Jr. was the quarterback for the Washington Huskies, right? Mm-hmm. They got blown out by J.J. McCarthy and the Michigan team, like 53-7. Like, it wasn't even funny. And I don't understand why the Falcons were like, yeah, that's the QB we want.
That's our guy.
That's our guy. Especially after signing Kirk Cousins. Uncle Kirk Cousins, man, he's just... Yeah, but that was a mistake on their end, and they're going to pay for it for a very long time. Penix has not come out and had a game where I'm like, yeah, you deserve this spot. No, you've been pretty disappointing, like majority of these newer QBs coming out of college. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it is definitely unfortunate. The one thing that Penix has going for him, he's got a hell of an arm. He is a lefty, so it does throw a couple people off on defense, But I don't think they put it together for a while. Like I said, that's a very weak division. I think, Tampa takes it away easily. But for this game specifically, Minnesota's going to come out. They're going to put it together. J.J. McCarthy's going to do well.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and then we got an ESPN doubleheader on Monday Night Football here. Our first matchup, we've got the 1-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Houston Texans. Texans looking for their first win of the season. I don't think they're going to get it. I see you agree with me here. I think the Bucs take it. I think the Bucs are a healthier team. They are a stronger team, at least at the start of this season. And I don't think home field advantage is enough for the Texans here. So I've got the Bucs 24-21.
I got the Bucs 26-21.
Yep.
I don't think the Houston Texans has what it takes. NRG Stadium is not only is it a terrible stadium, but it is not a stadium that carries a home field advantage.
No.
Not at all. I just think CJ Stroud's gonna get shit on. I'm gonna be as honest as possible here.
Yeah.
Without Tank Dell, it's just their offense is nothing. So
Yeah, I
and they make that
completely agree. Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. There's not much to say besides Tampa's gonna come out here and kick some butt in Houston, and I'm gonna have to hear about it all week.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I'll add to that with Tampa here is Baker to Emeka Egbuka is the real deal. He is a star receiver. Obviously, everyone saw it playing for the Ohio State Buckeyes, winning a national championship last year, but he's the real deal as a wide receiver. And I mean, he's a legitimate threat to learn under Mike Evans for the next year, maybe two. And then he's easily their wide receiver one going forward.
You know who? You know what that combination reminds me a lot of? Aaron Rodgers to Jordy Nelson.
Yeah.
Super smart football.
Yep.
Emeka's a smart kid. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson was very, very much so the same. That smart football let them win a ton of games, and I think it's going to do the Buccaneers very well. Probably not this year, but within the next 5 years, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl. Mark my words. Absolutely.
Yeah.
With these two guys, it's going to be a banger. Promise you.
Yeah, I could definitely see it, especially in a weaker NFC division there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Then our last game was Chargers-Raiders.
Yep.
I got the Chargers winning this 30-27, close game. This is going to be an AFC West freaking slugfest, high-scoring game. Justin Herbert, Geno Smith. I think Justin Herbert is going to utilize all of his weapons here. Everyone from Omarion Hampton to McConkey. I think this is just going to be a killer freaking game. But I do think the Chargers will pull out a win here. It is in Vegas, though. So, the Raiders fans got a little bit of home field advantage. They're a little crazy. But I think the Chargers are going to come victorious here.
Yeah, score prediction on that one.
30-27?
30-27. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, much closer than I had my score prediction here. I do also have the Chargers winning it. I don't think home field advantage for the Raiders is enough. I think the Raiders secondary will struggle.
I agree.
Against a very, very good Chargers offense. We saw it against Kansas City. It's good. Chargers are my pick to take the division after watching what they did to Kansas City.
Yep.
If they stay healthy, that's the big key. I've got this one 28-16. A lot bigger of a win, not as high scoring, but I think it'll still be a good game.
Can we also just give a little bit of shout out to the Harbaugh brothers and how excellent they are as coaches? I think they are probably 1 and 2 best coaches in the NFL. There's a lot of really good ones, but man, they just know exactly what they're doing every step of the way. I mean, Jim has taken this team from nothing to something. It's very, very clear they went into the draft. They had some serious picks. They know exactly what they're doing, and they definitely have a Super Bowl on their horizon. Justin Herbert finally has a team. He's waited a long time. He finally has a damn team. So it's really exciting as a former San Diego Charger fan. But I may never live those days again, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, we've seen what Harbaugh comes in, Jim Harbaugh speaking. He did it with Michigan. He did it with the Niners. He did it with, I believe there was another team before that as well, but blanking on them. But, and he's doing it again with the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have been a winning team. Yes, they haven't had the success they wanted to, but Jim has, been good to that team. He's been building. Like you said, they got a lot of good draft picks, and they built a team around Justin Herbert. So, definitely think it's going to be a good one for them.
And the best thing is like most coaches, most head coaches, when they go into these games, they have an offensive scheme that they want to run, and they don't tailor it exactly to the quarterback. But I think Jim has really tailored their offensive scheme and everything they plan to do around Justin Herbert, and it is just paying off for them, and I'm very happy to see it. They finally deserve a little bit of victory. Yeah,
completely agree with that.
Yeah. Next, what do we got? Our media.
Yeah, let's go to our media here. Get a little quick rundown here of some drama from
And
Week one.
we will end the media on a disappointing and very sad note. But
Yes, absolutely.
we got a lot to talk about. We screenshotted a lot here.
Yes, we got a lot. So let's scroll back up all the way to
Oh, there it is.
here. All right.
Yes.
So we got.
So I'll just kick it off because Packers are my team here. So this is about as depressing, or not as depressing as this gets actually, but it's pretty close. Former Packer Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's last September, says his symptoms are accelerating. He has stiffness on his right side and difficulty swallowing, and he's starting to get tremors. He says, quote, "What symptoms have sort of arisen here lately is like I have a hard time swallowing. There's times when I think I'm choking. It's sort of scary because they can't fix that. I'm trying not to think about it. I just try to focus on getting after the day, but there are times during the day, maybe at night, where I can decompress and think about progressing a little bit." As we know, Parkinson's is a disease of the central nervous system here and affects pretty much everything. He's 55 years old. He may have been an asshole to Aaron Rodgers and other players, but you never want to see somebody go out like this. And this is how it's going.
Yeah, Parkinson's is very rough, man. I mean, it's taken, a lot of people. There is unfortunately no cure for it. I mean, there are things that they can do to slow it down a little bit. I know that, but very, very sad to see him struggling with it. Our prayers are with Brett Favre and the Favre family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely hoping for the best for him.
Yep. The other thing here, we got some more information on the Micah Parsons trade here.
Yeah.
Came out, of course, after week one that the Eagles made an extremely strong offer. I think it was 151 million or 130 million. It was something like that to Micah Parsons. But Dallas had no interest because the Eagles are a division rival. That would have been honestly rude to the rest of the NFL if the Eagles picked up Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that would have been scary, man.
I mean, not that it's excellent that he went to the Packers. That's going to piss a lot of people off too. But it's crazy to see there was a little bit more interest than at least the Cowboys let off and or Micah Parsons let off.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised there, to be honest. I mean, the Eagles put in a good offer for him, and just the fact that, Jerry Jones can turn a lot of good money like that down just because they're a divisional opponent. I know being a Penn State guy, he wanted to go back near home, but, Green Bay it is.
Yeah, I'm not too sure Jerry Jones knows what he's doing most of the time, but
yeah.
But I will say at least he has a little bit of a brain to not trade such a player to a division rival. Because that would have been really funny if he traded him and then they played.
Twice a year, yeah.
Twice a year, and Eagles ended up winning, which they will.
Yeah.
Every time. But yeah, that's a little interesting. Moving on here. 1 week after the Amari Cooper trade from the Bills to the Raiders, he announces his retirement. It wasn't a whole ton of information as to why, but I know he did state that he was not a fan of the Raiders' offensive scheme and he could not figure it out. And he's unwilling to learn. So he decided to call it quits. This was his 10th year, I believe.
Yeah, 10th season.
10th season, so that's a little bit crazy, but here we are.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely crazy news. I believe I was at work when that one broke. And I remember shooting you a message that just hard to believe. I mean, he just gets traded to a team. I know he had talks about retiring there, but that was after this season. I know originally he was mentioning wanting to play out the rest of this season, but just very, very surprising here. I know this was it was exactly a week ago that, this happened, but we haven't had much more information on it. So definitely would be interested to see a little bit more of that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that create dead cap space for the Raiders?
I believe it does. There may be something in his contract because it was a 1-year contract that maybe if there was injury or if there
Whatever,
was, you
they
know,
would just waive it.
anything, they would waive it. Yeah. So I imagine the Raiders are trying to get out of that if there wasn't already a clause in his contract.
Fair enough. Moving on. This one, I don't understand anything Bill Belichick does anymore. But Bill
Yeah.
Belichick has banned Patriot scouts from attending UNC football practices. It's not just Patriot scouts, or it's not just the Patriot scouts facing access issues. All NFL evaluators have ran into some problems here. And I think from what I read, it seems to be that the NFL and Bill Belichick have a really bad standing. And because of that standing, he told them to pretty much F off. And
Yep.
if I was going to UNC and I was a Tar Heel, I think I'd be throwing tomatoes at my head coach.
Yep.
Because that's a whole load of bull crap for these players. Although none of them are playing very well, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did see is that this whole thing started because, as you said, they don't have a great relationship. But I did see that the Patriots are the ones that started it first, and they actually banned Bill Belichick from ever coming back into their facilities.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I believe that, you know, he probably felt that it was only fair that, you know, if he's going to, or if they're going to do it to him, he's going to do it to them. Not the smartest of moves at all. Very, very shitty situation for whatever college players are there. I think after this season, or maybe even in the season, they'll see a lot of, you know, UNC Tar Heels, you know, entering that transfer portal. So it's going to be interesting.
Yep. I'm going to skip the next one here on Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. Not much to say there.
Which we touched on this the other earlier, but the NFL is fining Jalen Carter $57,222 for spitting on Dak Prescott. The league also says he was ejected, of course, the game, and will serve a 1-game suspension. After talking to the Eagles, blah, 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 they've decided not to appeal. This is a load of horse shit. Dak Prescott started this whole deal. Dak Prescott deserves this penalty as well.
Yeah.
For $57,000, go piss on their sideline.
Yeah, I mean, to think that they have a fine standard for all bodily fluids, the fact that he could have just, gone over to the sideline and shit in his helmet.
Yeah, literally.
Pissed on him in the middle of the game, he would have gotten the same fine just because he spit on him. Yeah, very crazy. That's a lot of money for people like us, but, to him, it's probably pennies on the dollar, but still a big fine.
I mean, the fines are getting crazy. If you touch a quarterback, it's a $30,000 fine.
I'm not surprised.
Whether there's no penalty flag thrown or not, it's $30,000 fine every time you touch a quarterback.
Not surprised at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. Another big one: Packers signing, pretty much signing Christian Watson to a 1-year deal here. Extension. He is currently out for ACL injury, if I'm right.
Yeah, rehabbing that ACL.
Yeah, $13.25 million. They clearly see value here. This will be an interesting pickup for next season because he will not be returning this season, would be my guess. I don't know if there's if they have an estimation, but my guess is probably not.
Yeah, I think they may have said, because this was kind of ongoing at the very start of the offseason.
Yeah.
I think they said that there's a possibility he comes back if the Packers make a playoff run. But
it's already the whole season's 8-0. Save him.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just save him. There's no good that's going to come out of that. But very, very interesting to see that they extended him during an injury rehab. But yeah, I mean, good on the Packers for sure.
Absolutely. The next one's kind of huge. Jaguars traded Tank Bigsby to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 2026 5th and 6th round pick. I absolutely think that the Jaguars got fleeced here. A 5th and 6th round pick. Are you kidding? What are you going to pick up, that lineman?
I mean,
actually, but that's not the point here. Yeah, that's brutal. Good for the Eagles. It's just another weapon they're going to use to beat the Ravens.
Sad times. On another note, very surprised that of all teams, Philly wanted to make the move for Tank Bigsby. They've got Saquon, obviously, but Shipley over there is a solid RB2. So
I agree.
very surprised that they bring in Tank Bigsby. I mean, they gave up nothing for him, so it's not a big deal necessarily, but definitely adding some depth to that running back room over there.
Yep. Our next topics here really just cover Miami. Sources pretty much all across the league pretty much give Mike McDaniel and the general manager 5 weeks to clean it up, and if they don't clean it up in 5 weeks, they are looking for termination of their contracts, which I absolutely agree with. Mike McDaniel was an excellent head coach for one season, and then it looked like he was a player in Grand Theft Auto. But after that, I think it's living a little bit too much of the Miami Vice life. But I think after that, he needs to go. Their whole team needs to go. Tua needs to go. Tyreek needs to go somewhere where he's worth a damn. So we could see a lot of restructuring here with this Miami team in general.
Yeah, I think the best thing for them to do is get rid of Tua, get rid of Tyreek, keep Jalen Waddle, sign him to maybe a bigger deal. Maybe you'll get a little bit more productivity out of him without Tyreek there. And just shake everything up, man.
Yeah. The other big thing out of this is, where was it? Come on, there we go. Tyreek Hill is being investigated, not only legally, but by the NFL for domestic abuse on his ex-wife, Keita Vaccaro. We talked about this last week in that he lost a massive divorce settlement. He owes her all crap tons of money, but Vaccaro accuses Hill of shoving her to the floor, ripping a necklace, and violently attacking her, throwing her to the floor, twisting her intimate body parts, ripping her hair out, and grabbing anything off her, anything he can get a hold of. I would too if Tua was my quarterback.
Oh, God.
No, I absolutely am kidding. But that is getting him investigated not only by the court, but by the NFL, and the NFL will probably get their money out of him and fine him and suspend him because that's what they like to do because it's a violation of their code of conduct. They have a few players surfing that issue right now, and it's a 10-game suspension usually is like the average. So we'll see how that folds out. I know he wants to leave Miami, but if he's not leaving Miami anytime soon, if this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that folds out for sure.
Absolutely. Going back to the Giants here, a little interesting move after the 21-6 loss to the Commanders. Jackson Dart wanted to speak with the media, but the team did not let him. I wonder if he had some very strong words to say. I know he's a bit of a fireball, and he's a little bit of a risk taker, but it's a little weird there. But we'll see how that goes.
Very interesting move on the Giants there. They need to make that quarterback switch fast.
Absolutely. And then I think we will move to our last topic, our last little bit of media here, which is really unfortunate and sad, regardless of anybody's view. Some NFL players are speaking out on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Lamar Jackson said, celebrating the death of someone you don't share the same beliefs with is wild. Seeing it play out in real time is disgusting.
Yeah.
Some other players also spoke out. Harrison Butker, thank you for the young, strong witness for Christ. Charlie Kirk, thank you for pursuing truth and leading your family as a husband and as a father. And eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord. And let perpetual light shine upon them. May their soul and the souls of all the faithful departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. Amen. This is a really cool thing to see. This was an absolutely disgusting thing that occurred on us today, September 10th. So, may he rest in peace. May his family be in all of our prayers. And I wish the best for his wife and 2 kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Honestly, I mean that's simple as that. It's the best thing to say. I truly wish the best for their family. It's truly devastating to see. I think for the game, for some of these players, it's a very, very good thing to see some of them coming out and just, saying that a lot of this needs to stop and that it's gotten to an extreme extent, no matter what your views are and everything like
Absolutely.
that. So definitely good to see on some of these players taking some responsibility and actions. right. So yeah, first dog of the week. Shout out to two former Ohio State Buckeyes here, former teammates going against each other. We got Will Johnson's hit on Chris Olave, Cardinals versus Saints here for week 1. I know we said that last week with some preseason games. We had some good hits in there, but we knew that week 1 was going to give us a lot more to look at. But yeah, this was a massive hit here. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I just
This is
completely annihilated.
This play is brutal on every step of the way. It always sucks when you get rocked by a former teammate too, or even by your own teammate.
Yeah,
I had that situation happen to me quite a few times, and every time I watch this video, it's just it's brutal. But it's an excellent play. I like watching it, but that's tough.
Yeah, dog by Will Johnson, though. I mean, that was a hell of a hit.
Absolutely.
Feel very, very terrible for Chris Olave. I feel like it's always Chris Olave getting his shit rocked.
It's football. Come on. It's part of the damn sport. The NFL doesn't think it's part of the sport, but I sure
No. Yeah. All right. That's dog of the week number 1.
Yeah.
Dog of the week number 2
is Matthew Judon's hit on Daniel Jones. This one,
yeah,
brutal.
This one was wicked. I think we were both watching this one live when it happened. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
I don't know how you walk up after this. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, how Daniel Jones scored a touchdown after taking that hit. Insane.
He got up like he was fine.
Yeah, he was perfectly fine.
That's a great hit. I'm surprised there was no stupid penalty thrown for some bullcrap reason.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell, who gets the dog of the week? Daniel Jones for getting up, or Matthew Judon for laying the hit?
Honorable mention, Daniel Jones for actually getting up.
Yep.
All right. Next one is Jalen Ramsey.
Oh yeah.
This was a hit. Like the
hell of a hit.
The last play of the game. The absolute last play of the game. There was so much dominance here. It was almost like another welcome to the NFL moment.
Yeah.
It was
absolutely
great.
Insane. I mean, I understand that that's his first game on a new team over there in Pittsburgh, but you didn't have to do Garrett Wilson like that, man. Come on. That was just insane.
It was funny because I was on Instagram after, and I follow Garrett Wilson, and he was posting stuff in his hotel room talking about like, oh, that hit wasn't nothing. And I'm like, no, bro, we all watched it.
You got your shit rocked. It's okay. Just accept it.
Yeah, like no one's judging. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's football.
Pure like textbook tackle by Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, just the technique, the perfect hips up, down. It was just it was so good in the celebration. It was just wild.
Seeing it in slow motion is crazy.
Yeah. No, this is one that if someone got a photo of it, I'd buy and put on the wall.
Oh, hell yeah. 100%.
That's a great... And the ball came out, too. I didn't even think about that.
It was an incomplete pass.
Yeah. Great way to end that game off. I couldn't have been happier for the Steelers in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good one. Next one.
Such a good one.
This one's good. We got our tank, Cam Skaterbow over here.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Literally a tank.
One of our favorite rookies.
Yeah, and he literally ate the Commanders' breakfast. Like, 1, 2, 3.
3.
And then they struggled
to get him down.
Yeah, and they struggled to get him down. This was just an amazing play.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's big, but like he's still small. I want to say he's like 5'11" or something like that.
He's not huge. Yeah, I don't know his exact height.
5'11", I was right. Yeah, but I mean, if you see him in person, he is absolutely shredded. I mean, he literally looks like a bowling ball.
You know, he hit with his head on that first one there.
He did.
And then he bounced out to his shoulder.
Yeah.
Thank you for the referees for letting him play. not just throwing a flag immediately over some bull crap, because that was good. Like, genuinely good.
That was incredible for sure. And our last one actually comes from the same game.
Yeah.
Commanders player, I believe he's a linebacker, but special teamer Nick Bellore absolutely smoked and clobbered Giants returner Gunnar Olszewski. I believe that's his last name.
Apparently, Gunnar Olszewski is like known for getting his shit rocked.
Really?
When I originally tried to find this clip, like yesterday or something, there was a ton of college clips of him getting his shit rocked.
Wow.
So apparently this is his thing.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great.
Oh yeah, another textbook play on a punt return. I mean, Nick Bellore just comes in flying.
Boom! No, and he just gets up, walks away like nothing even fucking happened. Oh, it's so good.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, and then he hits the entire crowd with a huge flex.
Yeah, well, why not?
That's huge dog energy there.
I would too after I did that.
Yeah.
Out of all these, although all of them were great, my dog of the week has to go to Jalen Ramsey.
It's not even a question.
Like,
huge hit. You get up, you stomp yourself, kind of high stepping 50 yards down the field to celebrate with the rest of the team.
He literally killed Garrett Wilson in this.
He did, yeah. I was surprised Garrett Wilson made it back to the hotel room.
Yeah, he just face down the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some other really good hits this week. A lot of them were momentum based, but man, it was a good week for hits. But yeah, that Jalen Ramsey hit was just as good as could be.
Yeah, that was the one, man. It was good. That's definitely our dog of the week winner here.
I absolutely agree. Could not agree more.
Yeah.
Banger. Well, I think that concludes it for our second podcast.
That's going to do it, man.
That's going to do it.
Shoo.